Hello everyone, welcome to Inspirational Explorer. I want to believe you are enjoying the use of Photoshop. Based on the previous tutorial class, I want to believe you are getting accustomed with it. In this tutorial video, I'll be showing you just how to create this simple layout design. You can see that if we see is this simple. Yes, you just walk around little layers and just do some little adjustments, little manipulations. Before you know it, we're out of here. That's just how simple it can be. Without any further ado, let's get started. Most importantly, don't forget that you can always access the asset used in this tutorial video in the description below. You can access previous class tutorial video in the description below as well, just to get used to these things that we'll be using here. Just check the link in the description below. Then you get all you need. Right here, we need to set up the portrait style for this design. The regular portrait view is 1080 by 1920 pixel. But because I want more space on this design, I won't be going by that. I will be changing the image size that I'll be working with. You might just ask, how do you check the size? Peradventure, you're working on Photoshop and you just want to check the image size. Just click on image, go to image size. Under image size, then you should be able to see the exact size of the image. This is 1118 by 1566. And if you want to check directly from your picture, I know I've given too much information. It's just for our benefit. Just click on the image, hold Alt on your keyboard and hit Enter on your keyboard. Then check details. Under details, you should be able to check the image size right here. That's because I increased the size by 2. You can see that it is about 2236 pixels. Back on track, I'm just going to work with the image size right here. To check the image size, you can just hit Alt Control I or follow through the process I showed in the previous screen. With this, we can see the size. This is 1118 and 1566. I'm going to work with that by creating new Canva. Control N for new Canva, then we set the size to 11118. Make sure the resolution is 300 pixels. Then your color space, XRGB. Then click create. With this new Canva created, we are going to bring in our background just the usual way. You can either place embedded or just drag it to Photoshop and place it right there. Once we have it placed right here as smart object, we want it to scale up to fit the width and height. The first thing we want to do is just let's change the angle. You can hold this and rotate the angle as you want, but you can use the faster way to go by clicking on the angle point right here and just set the angle point to 90 degrees. Hit enter. The moment you set that, then we can scale it up to fit width and height proportionately by holding down the Alt. With this done, you can just check mark this or hit enter. The next thing is to bring in our image. We have the first step done. I would like to lock the background so that I will not accidentally move it or mess it up. With this done, I'll bring in the image. We have it as PNG. I'll just drop it right here. Remember, you can always find the assets used in this design in the description below. I'll just scale this down a little. I just scale this up as well. I think something around there should be fine. Just double click this, then it will place right there. With this done, I want to make sure that it's at the center. I'm going to click on the Canva, although it doesn't matter because we'll still adjust it. I'll set it to the center. Just right there. That is fine. The next thing now is to adjust our radio and bring it down in here. We have the PNG right here as well. I'm going to just scale this down by holding this angle part and just double click on it. Then I will hold this on the layer and bring it below this, or just hit Control and the open brackets. Just do that. Control open bracket is going to set it to the back. Then I will position it right. I think somewhere around here should be fine. You can see that this is close to the edge. I'm just going to hold this and highlight this as well by holding Control on my keyboard if on it. Then I will hold and drag by holding down Shift just to make sure that it is positioned right. I will just set it around this proportion. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The next thing now is to add a little bit of color to this image, I'm just going to hold down this and by clicking on it, and I will click on Control on keyboard and group this together by hitting Control G on my keyboard. You can just hold Control plus G. With Control G selected, it's going to group this. We can go the hard way, select this, then hold Control to select this, then right click. Did I just say the hard way? I mean the long process. Then you group layers. I can just rename this as image. I'm going to duplicate this layer, Ctrl J. I'm going to place this above, Ctrl bracket close. Yes, you can see that it's covering our image, but we'll solve that in just few steps. I'm going to change the blending option. You can choose any blending option that works for you. Just choose the one that best fits your preference based on what you want to design. You can see that the blending option keep changing the current mode of the image. Just choose the one that you love. I'm going to work with just soft light. With soft light, I'm going to reduce the opacity to about 18. I think this should be fine. It's 3 should be fine. Then we are getting there. The next thing now is to create the vanishing point, whereby we are going to put in our text. Before that, I'm going to hold the text tool by hitting T on my keyboard. Then I'm going to type in October, all caps. I will select this text and set it to about 48. With this done, I'm just going to give it color fill. I'm going to make use of this color fill. The X code is FFC200. Then I'm going to set that. Then I will change the font option to Up Butler's name. You can download the font, it's free. With this done, I'm just going to hit Control on my keyboard, then select this text layer to highlight it. I'm going to click Control C on my keyboard to copy it. Then I'm going to Control D to deselect. I will hide this text. Then I will do something quite interesting. I want to create a vanishing point. However, I can also set it to action point, whereby you can just click on it, then it will do it automatically for you. I'm going to click on this action button. In case you can't find your action button right here, just go to Windows and make sure the action is selected. That is Alt F9. Then you are going to have it just right there, or position it to wherever you prefer. I'm going to create a new group. Then I will name this Vanishing Point. Then I'll create a new layer in it so that it will be able to record my action. I'm going to give this layer October. Then I will save its record. You can set function key, probably a quick command if you want that. You can also set a color for it if you prefer to choose a color for it. But then just a simple guide, I'm going to click on record. Then it will start recording your process. Just to watch what is going to happen after this whole recording. I'm going to click on new layer. The moment I click on new layer, you can see that it is recording exactly what I'm doing right there. With the new layer selected, I'm going to go to filter. I'm going to select the vanishing point, which is Alt Control V. Then I'm going to create a simple pattern around it. I'm going to hold this down. Then I will make my pattern go this way, as if it's going up a little. Then at this junction, I will stop it. Then I bring this down a little. Then I also make this go this way. You can see the pattern as if it's forming irregular shape around it. Just make sure that it is blue, because yellow it's bad. It's not that bad, but you want it to do. I'm going to click Ctrl V with this selected. Then I will bring this text right here. You can see that we are having that already. Then hit Ctrl T on your keyboard to transform the October shape to fit into this box. Just hold and drag it till you are satisfied. With this done, hit OK. Then you have your October text right here. Just as we have the October text right here, I'm going to hold the layer right here. I'm going to bring it below the image so it can be beneath it. You can see that, right? You can just adjust the scale if you feel it's too big. Right there, you want to stop recording so that it doesn't record the actions that you'll be doing going forward. I'm going to click on stop. Then we have it right there. Now, let me hide this layer that I just worked on. Let's see what's going to happen the moment I click on the action point. With this done, I'm going to click on the action point. Then I will click on this October that we created, right? Then I click on play. You can see that it brought it below the background. That was because I made the mistake while arranging it the other time, right? I can just adjust this back here, then have it well positioned. You can always delete any mistake made while recording the process. Just make sure that you have it deleted, then it will be well positioned. You can see that we have everything just right there. Then the action will play out. And that is just how simple it is. Instead of having to go through the process all over from the beginning. Yes, I have a problem. You can see that the text is also having the fill right here. I'm going to just limit this one to the image alone by hitting Alt on my keyboard, holding down Alt, then click on this. It's going to power clip it. Just like that, we have it limited to the image. I might just have to extend this a little just to make sure that we have it well scaled the way we want up to this point as well. Right here, we just have to move the image up a little bit to make sure that it is well positioned quite a little bit above the October text. I noticed some lapses in my vanishing point. You can keep doing yours till you get it perfectly right. You just have the idea of how the vanishing point works. It's just to make sure that the corners are well set, then you have it just the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to adjust this later, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'll just walk us through the next step. You can see that the text in the other image that I show us has a kind of effect. This is how we're going to create the effect. I'm going to click on the FX effect right here, then select the blending option. With the blending option selected, underline this layer, make sure you move the black area. Just adjust it, keep going. Yet, I know it's choking into the text. Just keep going till we have it around, let's say 58. I think that should be fine. Then I'm going to hold Alt. The moment you select Alt, it's going to separate these 2 points. The moment it has these 2 points separated, I'm going to just hold this down back to around, let's say 2. Right here, then I will hit OK. You can see that we have that fill on the text. It blends to the background. Just as simple as that. You want to add one touch to make the image blow up a little. I'm going to select the image. Right here, I'm going to select the adjustment layer. Then we select the curve. With the curve selected, I'm going to adjust this up a little. Let's give it this brightness fill just to make sure that it's bright a little. Add a little bit of dark side to it. Once we have this dark spot right here, I think with this, we are fine. I'll make a quick adjustment around my vanishing point. I'll just create a new layer and just walk around it. Just do yours to make sure it is perfect. You have the idea, copy the text, then create a new layer. You can also follow the action points that I will create to just make sure you get the right vanishing point for this. Check the action points that I use in the description below to make sure you have it perfect. Yes, we are gradually getting there. You might want to adjust the image down a little bit more. You can see that we are 80% done with the design. The next thing is to just go back to our October text that we created earlier. I'm just going to duplicate this. Just keep this one. Peradventure you mess up with any of this, you can just always come back to this. With this done, I'm going to scale this up a little. Then I'm going to tilt this to this side. I'll just bring this text somewhere around here. Always make sure you have your work saved so that you won't have to go through the whole stress or crash. Peradventure it crashes, you can always continue from where you stopped. I'll just scale this text up to around, let's say, 86. Then I'll just move this down a bit more and set the blending option now. You can see creative blending options, right? Just set the blending option to whatever you feel like works for you, fine. Just select whatever blending option works for you. Just be creative around it. There are no rules to this. Just something that you love, something that you feel it's perfect. I'll just work with subtract. With this position and tilted, I'm going to duplicate it by holding Alt and just hold it down. Then duplicate it to this position somewhere around there. I'm going to change this blending option to just soft light. With soft light selected, you can see that it's not yet perfect. That's because we are having one thing behind. I'm going to hold this and just bring it down beneath this. I'll place it somewhere around there. Then I'm going to duplicate our background layer once more. Just duplicate it. Then I'm going to place this above every other layer right here, but below the image layer. Then I will change the blending option to soft light. The opacity, I will reduce this down to around 50. I think this should be fine. Yes, we are getting closer to the original design. I can decide to just scale down the image a bit more. I will lock all other layers so they don't intercept with the design. The duplicated background layers, I will just have to lock them. I will just adjust this down a little so that it is well positioned. To this point, I think this is fine. All right, we have it up to this point. Then let's make it more interesting by just creating our design around it. The next thing I want to do now is to just play around the design. There's nothing special that we are creating anymore. It's just to play around with the design. I'm going to just create a new layer. Then I will select the brush tool. Well, I worked with the pencil tool when I was doing this. Then I just created few points around this, just random points. You might want to change the color before painting to white. I'll just set the color to white, your swatches, or you can just change the color from your foreground color right there. And just create little points, just work creatively. There's no rule to what I'm doing right here. It's just something that you feel like works for you. Then you just set it the way you want. Then I'll just set the blending option to something that will make it pop. I think overlay works. Soft light might not really work, but overlay work. Just create the points that works for you, right? I'm just going to bring in the one I created in the other design. I just put it right here. I'm going to make it available in the description below. Just make use of it. The next thing is to create the text. I'm just going to go to our text tool. Then I work with Monsterrat regular, the default option size to 8.64, just based on preference, whatever you want. Then I'm just going to type quick right here. I have this position just right there. Same thing with the text right here. It's still Monsterrat, but I changed it to bold, 70.28. Also this as well. It's still Monsterrat. I just changed it to regular, 4.32. I'm just going to speed up the whole process of bringing in the font option. Just work with them and just position it the way you want. Just work around the text option that works for you. It's not necessary you use the text option that I used. Just paste your text or type your text in here, then just have it saved right there. The next thing I did was to create a simple pencil string style. I click on the pen tool, then I selected something like this and we want to create something like this that you see right here. So what I did was just to hold down the pen tool, then create a little curve around there. Hold down the Alt or your position, then create this around there. Then I give it a stroke of white. Then it's just 2. Width. The width is just set to 2. You see that with that, I have this right here. Just create your own style, create your own pattern. There are no rules to this. Then the last thing I did was bring in my logo. How we have the design all set, all completed. No difference, just that way. I can just copy the logo right here, just hold this, Ctrl C, then I'll just bring it right here, Ctrl Shift V to paste it right here. What Ctrl Shift V does is that it pastes in the same position it was in the previous design. It's not changing position, just the way it was, just the same proportion. But Ctrl V will just paste it newly. That was exactly what I did to have this wonderful design. If you feel this is too visible, you can reduce the opacity just to your preference and your taste. Just work the way you want. There's no limit to that. If you zoom this in a little bit, you will see a little bit of text that I added to this text right here. It's quite simple. All I did was the blending option, the same way we worked with the blending option around there. I make sure this was 20 and this was set to 0. Then have it positioned just right there. You can see that we have our design all set. If you feel this is too bright for you or it's too colorful, you can always change the blending options. You can always hide some of the settings you added just to make your design look awesome and beautiful and perfect. That is based on your preference, whichever way you want to go. There is no limit to your creativity. Keep creating, keep exploring. It is in you. You are explorer. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial video. In case you have any questions, please do it to make use of the comment section or ask your question in the classroom. I will attend to them. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.